R. Kelly has been battling sexual misconduct allegations since the 90s, but it wasn't until 2019 that the "I Believe I Can Fly" singer was placed behind bars to await a trial that, as of November 2020, has yet to happen. As the BBC reports, Kelly's questionable behaviour began in 1994 when, at the age of 27, he married a 15-year-old Aaliyah. In 1996, he was sued by Tiffany Hawkins, who dated Kelly when she was 15 and alleged personal injuries and emotional distress. In the early 2000s, the singer was sued by 3 more women, and in 2002, he was slapped with 21 counts of making child pornography, followed by 12 more charges and an arrest in Florida. The Best Dogs in Video Games in August 2021. If there is one universally held truth, it's that dogs absolutely rule. Insufficient evidence resulted in his walking free, and it wasn't until a 2017 BuzzFeed feature alleged Kelly of running a sex cult that more women began to come forward. Whether it's a good boy or a good girl, the ranks of man's best friend are filled with 4-legged heroes of all shapes and sizes. The same is true for PS4 and PS5 too. The dogs on Sony's platform are very often good folk, TM, who will do whatever they can to help the player and other characters along in their journey. The Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Without further ado then, here we go with our spoiler-free list of the best dogs in video games. Beware though, spoilers follow. The Best Dogs in Video Games in August 2021. The Best Dogs in Video Games in August 2021. Lion, A Plague Tale. Innocence. Seeming to be a cross between a spaniel and some sort of hound dog, the endlessly loyal Lion is a more than competent French hunting dog for the affluent de Rune family in the superb stealth action RPG, A Plague Tale. Innocence. Always ready to continue the hunt and equally always capable of interjecting himself into conversations with his masters when they least expect it, or want it, Lion sadly meets a grisly end after he goes pursuing some unknown danger in the forest. Kelly followed, and, as Billboard notes, Kelly was arrested in February 2019. He was charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse against 4 women, including 3 minors, and was released on $100,000 bail. That July, Kelly was arrested again, except this time, there would be no bail. After being charged with 18 counts of kidnapping, forced labor, child sexual exploitation and child pornography production and obstruction of justice, he was placed behind bars, where he remains. Here's what R. Kelly's life in prison is really like. R. Kelly spent his 53rd birthday behind bars on July 11, 2019. R. Kelly was arrested while walking his dog in Chicago and slapped with a 13-count indictment, which, according to ABC News, included charges of sexual exploitation of children, conspiracy to defraud the United States, coercion and child pornography. He entered a plea of not guilty but remained behind bars at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Chicago to await his trial, according to AJC. Just a few weeks later, in August 2019, Kelly was brought into a courtroom by 3 U.S. Marshals, as reported ABC News, with his hands clasped behind his back. Kelly was reportedly wearing blue prison scrubs and orange slip-on shoes with a white and blue striped sole, and sporting a thick beard, as he faced another set of charges, which were filed against him in Brooklyn federal court. This time, Kelly pled not guilty to 5 charges claiming he ran an enterprise, made up of managers, drivers, assistants, and more whose job wasn't just to promote his music but also to recruit women and girls to engage in illegal sexual activity with Kelly. Despite Kelly's plea, Magistrate Judge Stephen L. Though tragic, Lion's sacrifice proves how eager this loyal hound was when it came to uncovering danger and protecting his friends from that same danger. More than that, Lion's sacrifice would serve to harden the resolve of protagonist Amicia de Rune, who would go on to face down the rat plague in a way that would change the lives of her family and friends forever. Heavy stuff. One of the most fearless dogs on this whole heckin' list, Bullet is a proud Belgian Malinois and the best buddy of mentally troubled ex-cop Ellis Lynch, who finds himself scouring the Black Hills forest for a missing boy. More than just a handsome face, Bullet's support keeps Ellis sane through companionship, extended periods away from Bullet cause Ellis to hallucinate horrifically and suffer from debilitating bouts of paranoia, and he can also be instructed through a number of different commands to sniff out clues, stick close to Ellis or distract whatever evil stirs in the Black Hills forest. Loyal, always up for a treat and willing to quite literally fight the forces of evil for his beloved master, Bullet is the dog you want with you whenever supernaturally fueled bad stuff starts to happen. The Chuck Norris of dogs. You think I'm kidding. This Kevlar-vested and extremely powerful German Shepherd is a horrendous engine of four-legged propelled destruction. Seriously, you could probably do away with using your gun at all in Call of Duty Ghosts and just let this highly trained furry fiend do all the work for you. Just make sure you have some treats back at base. Otherwise things could get messy. Whether he's disarming automatic weapon brandishing terrorists, ripping out throats of folks who look at the player sideways, or taking down an attack helicopter full of bad dudes, Riley is a one-dog wrecking crew with no upper limit on the level of carnage he can cause. You don't mess with this bestest boy. Fallout 4 dogmeat when the world ends. What could be better than spending your remaining few irradiated days in the post-apocalypse than with a dog? Nothing, that's what. Tishon denied him bail and ordered the singer to be detained pending trial. On January 8, 2020, Kelly celebrated his 53rd birthday in jail, and, as of November 2020, it appears that's where he'll also be spending his 54th. Kelly will spend the pandemic behind bars in late March 2020, shortly after the World Health Organization dubbed COVID-19 a pandemic. A staple of the Fallout games since the early, isometric days on PC, Dogmeat has always proven to be a great companion. Originally inspired by the doggo that followed Mel Gibson's Max Rokitansky around in Mad Max 2, Dogmeat appears most recently in Fallout 4 as an immortal German Shepherd. That's right. Dogmeat cannot die, which is great. A long-term sidekick for the player as they stalk the wastelands of Fallout 4. Dogmeat is superb at tracking down missing persons, obtaining items on request and, of course, loves the player unconditionally. While dogs are considered man's best friend then, few would argue that having a good doggo like Dogmeat as man's only friend after the bombs have dropped is hardly a bad situation to be in, eh? Sorry, had to get that out of my system. Kelly asked a federal judge to set him free due to health concerns, as reported by CBS Minnesota. Anyway, Boomer, a mixed-breed doggo with predominantly Australian cattle dog influences, is a mega-useful companion to have with you as you attempt to root the evil seed siblings out of Hope County. Almost completely fearless, Boomer can snatch weapons away from aggressive enemies, savage foes to death, and alert the player as to the existence of any emerging threats. Oh, and Boomer just loves to have fun too. If he isn't chasing his own tail or dancing on his hind legs when idle, he's leaning out of speeding car window with his tongue flapping in the wind. A true good boy and staunch Hope County rebel. A stray dog that wandered Hope Country and generally having a lot of fun doing so. This good little chap was nabbed by the unsavory highwaymen and whisked away to their butcher shop to be turned into a meal. That was a mistake. Before Timber was locked away, he pretty much tore apart 3 of the number, proving that this Akita Inu was quite the challenge for his captors. Once rescued, Timber becomes a resolute and deadly companion, one who lives for licks and tasty treats as much as he does for ripping bad guy throats and alerting his friends to danger. In the filing, which was submitted to the U.S. District Court in Chicago, the singer's lawyers wrote that, the health risk to Mr. A true and proper good boy. Further reading. Barely a pup, the young German Shepherd in Terminator Resistance, depending on whether you called him Max or Wolfie, cannot really match the other hounds on this list when it comes to sheer activity, that much is true. Though many grown dogs in the Terminator Future War setting end up being used as early detection sentries for Terminator infiltrator units, and sadly, often dying in the process, Wolfie, that's what I called him anyway, has a different calling, namely the restoration of humanity. No pressure. As the companion of young Patrick, a wayward child in the machine apocalypse, Wolfie can be found playing with Patrick or snuggling up to him as they sleep on the couch together, helpfully reminding the youthful lad that emotion and compassion will always be what separates the human resistance from their mechanical overlords. Kelly, because of his age and existing health issues, especially considering the conditions at the MCC, necessitates his release on bail. They claimed that the Metropolitan Correctional Center, where Kelly is awaiting trial, lacks access to basic hygiene measures, including soap and hand sanitizer, and that the size of the cells makes social distancing impossible. They also argued that, the courts have long recognized that there is no greater necessity than keeping a defendant alive, no matter the charge. Their plea fell on deaf ears, however. As The Hollywood Reporter learned in April, Judge Ann M. Donnelly ruled that R.A. a true loyal friend to Abby Anderson and the WLF, Alice is basically a total hero. Kelly would remain in prison because he's a flight risk and poses a danger to the community, especially prospective witnesses. Look, not only has she racked up an impressive number of infected and Seraphite kills, but she has also actually saved Abby from being chewed to pieces by a clicker, too. Throw in how she helped Lev to overcome their fear of dogs and her deep-seated love for squeaky toys, and it soon becomes clear that Alice is a true role model that all video game dogs should aspire to be like. Originally the not-so-beloved pet of the school headmaster who left her behind with the students when the zombie apocalypse swept across the land, Rosie's muscular frame and fearsome mug initially meant that even the usually fearless Clementine thought twice about making her acquaintance. Soon becoming great friends, Rosie quickly becomes Clementine's guardian, warding her against all kinds of danger, both living and undead, while proving herself to be acutely aware of Clementine's deteriorating mental condition and offering comfort whenever and wherever we can. Strong, loyal, sensitive and powerful, there is perhaps no greater ally one could have in the zombie apocalypse than lovely old Rosie. Based on the very true stories of frontline doggos serving during the Great War, Walt is an affectionate and very well-trained Doberman pinscher that unfailingly aids his German master as players inch their way through the misery of the First World War. A medic dog by trade, Walt is a compassionate type who does everything he can to help those who have been hurt. Kelly eating Snickers behind bars? In August 2019, The Blast learned that additionally, his ultra-lovable nature means that soldiers on both sides find themselves enamored with him, often letting him through while his human master goes about some clandestine business. A true soldier of world's worst conflict who is unflinchingly committed to those around him, Walt is a hound whose bravery and compassion knows no bounds. Who are your favorite doggos on PS4? Let us know your top hounds in the comments below. PS5 Complete Guide. PS5 Error Codes, PS5 Errors, PS5 Support, PS5 Guides, PS5 Playstation Plus, Sony PS5 Release Date and Price, Ps5 Specs, Ps5 Release Date, Ps5 Price, Ps5 Backwards Compatibility, Ps5 Teraflops, everything you need to know about Sony PlayStation 5. The successor to the PlayStation 4 console, which released in November 2013, the PlayStation 5 released in North America on November 12, 2020 and all other territories on November 19, 2020. Kelly's lawyers were petitioning for his release from solitary confinement, claiming that the singer had no meaningful interaction with other humans, that he spent no time outside getting sunlight, and that he couldn't buy snacks, even though other inmates were allowed to. All of these claims of unfair treatment were quickly shut down by prosecutors who stated, via The Blast, that Kelly has had a cellmate for quite some time despite his initial refusal. In fact, he has had more than one cellmate so far, they added. That said, there is so much more to the PS5 than that, so cast your eyes upon this handy PS5 complete guide for everything you need to know about Sony's PlayStation 5 console. PS5 Complete Guide. Error codes, how-to guides, price, release, specs, size, PS Now, PS Plus, PSVR2, PS3, PS4 compatibility in September 2021 in this PS5 Complete Guide. PS5 Complete Guide. PS5 Hardware. PS5 Complete Guide. Games. PS5 Complete Guide. PSVR. PS5 Complete Guide. PS5 Hardware. PS5 Review. What did we think of the PlayStation 5 hardware? With the PlayStation 5 now available in all territories, we've put Sony's next-generation console through its paces in all aspects of its design, from its UI to the loading times, to how it handles backwards compatibility. What's more, they revealed that as of September 2019, the defendant had access to indoor recreation 3 times a week, though it was not outdoors on the rooftop, and that he had 7 social visits to date, as well as 3 purely social phone calls. You can catch the full review below in addition to the links in each section which take you to specific parts of our PS5 hardware review. Accessibility options: PS5 Remote Play Performance, PlayStation Activities, PS4 Backwards Compatibility, Performance Conclusion, Ps5 Size. How big is the PlayStation 5? The PS5's dimensions, weight, are substantial and confirm the fact that the PS5 is the biggest console in modern history. The PS5 weighs in 4.5 kg and measures at 390 mm by 104 mm by 260 mm. Meanwhile, the PS5 Digital Edition measures at 390 mm by 92 mm by 260 mm, weighing in at 3.9 kg. As for those snacks, they added that he purchased items from the commissary, including snacks such as Snickers, and that MCC staff have taken steps to ensure the defendant's safety, and in doing so, have treated him with dignity and respect. He was placed in solitary confinement for his safety in August 2020. TMZ learned that R. This is quite big when you compare it to the Xbox Series X size, which is just 301 mm by 151 mm by 151 mm. PS5 accessories. What accessories are available with the PlayStation 5? The following accessories can be bought for use with PS5. The DualSense wireless controller costs $69.99 per €69.99 per £59.99. The DualSense wireless controller charging station costs $29.99 per €29.99 per £24.99. The Pulse 3D wireless headset costs $99.99 per €99.99 per £89.99. The HD camera costs $59.99 per €59.99 per £49.99. The PS5 media remote costs $29.99 per €29.99 per £24.99. Ps5 specs. What are the PlayStation 5 specifications? A true generational leap over the PS4 and PS4 Pro, the PS5 marks a seismic shift of current-gen consoles. Boasting cutting-edge AMD architecture and a world-beating SSD, the PS5 is a technological monster to say the least. You can catch the full Ps5 specs below. You can catch our full Ps5 specifications guide right here for some nerdy further reading. PS5 controller. What is the PS5 DualSense wireless controller and what does it do? Sony are calling the PS5 controller the DualSense, and we know that it will bring haptic feedback to the table for the first time in a console controller, allowing you to experience every bit of resistance and inertia as you wade through a swamp, or drive a car over loose gravel. On top of that, the next controller will also have adaptive triggers, a USB-C connection and an improved speaker to boot. Kelly was placed back in solitary confinement for his own safety following an attack that took place inside his cell. According to sources, Kelly was sitting on his bed when the inmate walked in and began punching him because he was mad that protests staged by the singer's supporters outside the MCC were causing the facility to go on lockdown. Kelly's lawyer, Steve Greenberg, wasted no time using the attack as a reason to ask for his client's release. "We have not been provided any information from the jail, nor has Mr. In short. The PS5 pad is shaping up to be something really quite awesome." The controller, which is pictured above, includes the previously confirmed haptic feedback triggers as well as the adaptive features of them. The touchpad has returned, with Sony admitting that it wasn't used too much on the PS4. There is no share button, with a create button replacing it, which will grant you new ways to create gameplay content for others or yourself, with more info coming down the road. The PS5 DualSense controller will try to maintain a longer battery life and lessen the weight as much as possible. Kelly called, he tweeted, adding, "Regardless, it is time to release Mr. Kelly. The government cannot ensure his safety, and they cannot give him his day in court," he argued. There is also a built-in microphone on the controller, but you can still use a headset. This microphone is built for shorter conversations. "We should not incarcerate people indefinitely because we cannot provide them with due process." Instead, MCC decided to put Kelly in solitary confinement. Finally, the touchpad is still present but has changed position. It is now on either side of the touchpad. DualSense wireless controller specifications. You can catch the full PS5 DualSense specifications below. PS5 USB ports. What USB ports does PlayStation 5 have and what do they do? The PS5 USB ports are as follows. USB Type-A port, high-speed USB, found on the front of the console. This PS5 USB port allows you to connect, pair and charge your DualSense controller. It can also be used to charge other wireless accessories such headsets too. That's the only place they can protect him, Greenberg later told Page 6. This port can also be used to connect PS4 accessories such as the DualShock 4 controller. You cannot use extended storage such as external HDDs and SSDs from this PS5 USB port. Explaining the root of the altercation, he added, "My understanding is, every time there is a pro-R. Kelly protest outside of the jail, they lock down the entire facility. When they do this, inmates don't get their commissary, they don't get their shower, stuff like that, and since they're fairly sporadic anyway, they get upset," he said, concluding, "So they're penalizing everyone in the facility because people are protesting in support of Kelly. Did no one intervene while he was attacked?" In October 2020, the PlayStation VR headset can also be connected to this port. USB Type-A port, super speed USB 10 gigabits per second, X2 located on the back of the console. These PS5 USB ports do everything that the high-speed USB Type-A can do. The big difference is that with these ports you can connect external storage such as HDDs and SSDs to them and use them. The PlayStation VR headset can also be connected to this port. USB Type-C port, super speed USB 10 gigabits per second. You can connect the PlayStation camera or the HD camera to the PS5 USB Type-C port on the front of the console. Kelly's lawyers rehashed the altercation that took place in his cell in August in a new court filing, claiming via CNN that new video proved that no one raised a finger until Kelly's attacker was well into beating him. Claiming that Mr. Kelly has suffered significant physical and psychological injuries, lawyer Michael Leonard argued that an unresolved issue remains as to whether MCC personnel encouraged, and then allowed, a beating of Mr. The PlayStation camera will require an adapter for this connection to work. Ps5 TFLOPS. How many teraflops does Ps5 have and what do they actually mean? The Ps5 is capable of outputting 10.28 teraflops. Kelly to take place. So it isn't any sort of slouch. That alone merits an evidentiary hearing. Meanwhile, prison employee D. Zyhovsky, who broke up the fight, said the lawyer's claims were simply not true. As he told it, he acted immediately when he found inmate Jeremiah Shane Farmer punching inmate Kelly repeatedly in the head and torso. Zyhovsky explained that he ordered Farmer to cease the assault, and when he refused, he deployed pepper spray to stop the attack. As for Farmer, he claimed in docs obtained by TMZ that he had attacked Kelly, in hopes of shedding light on government corruption. And each of those teraflops are worth more than their current gen equivalents because AMD Navi uses brand new RDNA2 microarchitecture which basically gives you more power per T-flop than what the PS4 and PS4 Pro are capable of. Kelly is allegedly petrified and paranoid these days. Kelly appears to have as many lawyers as charges. Following the attack in his cell, yet another lawyer spoke out on behalf of her client, telling the Chicago Sun-Times that fear and terror have left him petrified and paranoid. Nicole Becker went on to claim that Kelly can't sleep and is now afraid to leave his jail cell during the 2 hours he's permitted daily to venture out. Also, teraflops in general are not the be-all and end-all of system performance. Here's why. Ps5 Graphics, what can you expect from PlayStation 5 visuals? Powered by a stupendously powerful RDNA2 GPU capable of performance in excess of 10 teraflops and a HDMI 2.1 connection, the PS5 is capable of some truly next-generation visuals. His insomnia is serious, she continued, adding, he's even afraid to get his hair cut. What's more, Becker alleged that the singer is scared for his life, that he's terrified, and that he's gained a lot of weight since COVID-19 due to lack of exercise. Becker went on to share her very different account of the attack, telling the outlet that the singer was actually lying down with a blanket covering his face and wearing ear pods on the bottom tier of a bed bunk at 9:45 a.m., when someone wearing shoes entered his unlocked cell and began to stomp and kick his face. Calling the decision to keep him behind bars tremendously unfair, she argued, he's stuck in jail and can't get a trial because of the pressure of COVID-19 on the prison system, he can't have contact with the outside world, he lives in a tiny little cell in fear of his own safety, and he suffers from headaches from being beaten up physically, she lamented. COVID-19 has wreaked havoc on his trial dates. These are the following visual features that gamers will get with PS5 games. 8K resolution. The PS5 is capable of displaying games and media at 8K resolution. Because the processing power needed to render 8K resolution is so high, it should be expected that PS5 games which run in 8K will have relatively simplistic visual features as a trade-off.
Streaming video however, such as Netflix, Hulu and HBO Max will support 8K resolution shortly, as the processing power needed to encode 8K video is far less than it is to render in a PS5 game. 120 FPS, with increased processing power and a HDMI 2.1 connection comes the ability to have games which run at a super smooth 120 frames per second. Twice as smooth as any game you would have seen on any console previously. If you have a TV with a HDMI 2.1 connection, you'll be able to enjoy select PS5 games in buttery smooth 120 frames per second. Kelly was set to face charges of racketeering and sexual misconduct in Brooklyn Federal Court in July 2020, but as Vulture confirmed in April, Judge Ann M. Donnelly rescheduled it for September 29 due to the pandemic. As the outlet noted, this would likely cause his Chicago federal trial, which had already been moved once from April to October 13, to be pushed back once more. Come August, jury trials had resumed in Chicago, but if Kelly was hopeful he'd keep his court date, he was wrong.
Prosecutors petitioned the court to postpone his hearing, noting the difficulty of keeping everyone safe as they planned to call 50 witnesses, 12 to 13 of which would have to travel in from a different state, including 8 to 9 of whom would be coming in from states on Chicago's coronavirus quarantine list. You can take a peek at all the PS5 games which support 120 FPS right here. Ray tracing. An extremely processor-intensive visual technique. Ray tracing creates much more accurate lighting and realistic reflections by tracking how light would be traced from its source to any number of surfaces in the game world. They also argued, via the Chicago Sun-Times, that the trial would draw 34 or 36 people to a courtroom, not counting spectators, and that the risks were too high. U.S. District Judge Harry Leinenweber agreed, concluding, via the Chicago Tribune, that, physically, it seems to be virtually impossible to proceed to trial in October. Kelly's lawyer, Steve Greenberg, argued that, Mr. Ps5 games that take advantage of ray tracing include Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales and Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart. Variable refresh rate, VRR. VRR allows a TV of monitor to adjust its refresh rate in real time to the frame rate output by the PS5. In practical terms, this means that screen tearing and frame stutter should be a thing of the past in PS5 games. Kelly shouldn't have to rot away in jail just because the government doesn't want their witnesses to spend a short time in quarantine. But even if Leinenweber conceded, Kelly was ordered to be held without bond over his New York charges, so he wouldn't be released anyway. The Second Court of Appeals is keeping R. This is set to be delivered at a later date via a system update. Native 4K resolution. While 8K resolution will be seen on far fewer games, gamers should expect that many PS5 titles will be able to run in native 4K resolution, offering a crisper and cleaner visual presentation as a result. Unreal Engine 5 designed with next-generation consoles in mind. Unreal Engine 5 is packed full of cutting-edge features which can only be accommodated by the beefier specifications in a console like the PS5. You can catch our Unreal Engine 5 feature here, in addition to a list of all the PS5 games that are slated to use Unreal Engine 5. For further reading, you can see all of the enhanced PS5 games in our handy feature PS5 Enhanced Games list. Every PS4, Ps5 game with enhanced graphics modes. Ps5 SSD. How fast is it and how can it benefit Ps5 games? Eschewing the regular hard disk drive seen in the PS3 and PS4, the PS5 will use an ultra-fast SSD instead. How fast is it though? Well, it loads Insomniac's superb Spider-Man in just over 0.5 seconds, an improvement that is some 19 times faster than what the PS4 Pro can achieve. So yeah, that fast. Sony have also patented a way for loading screens to be almost completely non-existent, so it seems like this new SSD will certainly figure into that. Something else that the new console will do is improve game installations too, allowing players to decide just what components of a game they wish to install. Plenty of developers seem excited for the PS5 SSD too, like Alan Wake developer Remedy, for example. Kelly locked up trying their best to get R. Kelly out of prison. His lawyers have asked for his release a total of 6 times, and they've been denied on every occasion. The PS5's SSD storage is clocked in at 825 GB with a mega-fast I/O throughput of 5.5 GB per second, raw, typical 8 to 9 GB per second, compressed. To put that into perspective, the PS5 SSD is over twice as fast as its Xbox Series X counterpart. At the time of this writing, most recently, they petitioned the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in September 2020, arguing that the singer hadn't been able to prepare for his case for 6 months and should therefore be released. Speaking with CNN, Kelly's legal team stated that they hadn't been able to meet with their client in person since March due to coronavirus restrictions and noted that because Kelly cannot read or write, he is unable to review documents on his own or provide feedback, meaningfully. Attorney Tom Farinella said, via CNN, that, for half the time he's been incarcerated, he's not been able to meet with counsel, while attorney Steve Greenberg added that Kelly is not a danger or a risk of flight, and that he's a prime candidate for other inmates to abuse to get jail cred. Unfortunately for them, the court ruled that the prosecution was able to present clear and convincing evidence that Kelly was, in fact, a flight risk, as well as a danger to the community, and they denied Kelly's request. It's that fast. Beyond providing a massive increase in access speed, the PS5 SSD has also been paired with PS5 system memory, CPU and GPU to create an insane level of system bandwidth where new environments can be streamed in instantly. A brilliant example of this is Insomniac's Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, in which the popular Lombax and his mechanical friend find themselves crashing through portals and into all new worlds instantly. PS5 SSD. Why is it 825 GB? As it turns out, there is in fact a very good reason why the PS5 SSD storage size is set at 825 GB. Essentially, it boils down to the fact that the PS5 SSD isn't just some peripheral storage solution that the PS5 occasionally talks to. It is instead thoroughly embedded into the silicon in a way that just hasn't been done before. Cutting-edge stuff indeed. This means that the overall level of performance that the PS5 can kick out is much improved, as the PS5 SSD is effectively married to the PS5 CPU. In practice, Sony has been able to marry up the PS5 SSD modules to the rest of the PS5 silicon via a 12-channel flash interface, which enables the console to deliver a blisteringly fast 5.5 GB per second of I/O performance. Essentially, this means that the PS5 can stream in new data practically seamlessly. You can read our full feature on why the PS5 SSD is set at 825 GB right here. PS5 memory. How much memory does the PS5 have and how fast is it? The PS5 will be packing in 16 GB of super-fast GDDR6 memory clocked at 448 GB/s. Yep. It's fast. Real fast. And it complements the screamingly fast SSD in the PS5 to create a system that has the fastest system bandwidth on the market. But why only 16 GB? Well, there's an interesting story behind that, to say the least. Ps5 Sound. What does the Ps5 Tempest engine do and how impressive is the sound quality? As part of the overarching silicon deal with AMD, Ps5 is touted to have a groundbreaking 3D audio processing chip that will enhance player immersion in a 3D space, particularly in VR. In fact, Sony have gone one step further with its 3D audio implementation for PS5 by creating the awesomely named Tempest engine, a dedicated piece of hardware that can accurately render hundreds of different sound sources at once, in addition to be able to identify all kinds of audio outputs depending on the ears of those listening. As a means of showing a comparison point for this, LED Systems architect Mark Cerny described a rainy scene, detailing how the Tempest engine seeks to cement a feeling of immersion by simulating the sound of each individual raindrop pounding into the environment around you. Another key element that the Tempest engine will bring to PS5 games is the notion of locality. Chiefly, by being able to simulate the player's accurate position, which is an extremely processor-intensive task, the Tempest engine relies on an entire AMD GPU compute unit to deal with this in order to accurately simulate the prominence of sounds at varying distances in a way that just hasn't been done before. In short, PS5's 3D audio is a revelation, and one that is arguably best enjoyed with the PS5 special 3D audio headset. PS5 Complete Guide. Games. Best PS5 games ranked the crème de la crème of the best PS5 games that money can buy. Our best PS5 games ranked feature ranks all of the PS5 games to date that gave scored 9/10 or more. From Demon's Souls to Chivalry 2, you can discover what the very best PS5 games ranked are right here. Best PS5 JRPG games ranked from Scarlet Nexus to Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. We've got the very best PS5 JRPG games ranked for you to see right here in our super handy and constantly updated guide. Best PS5 platformer games ranked, one of the most timeless ever genres in video games, from Crash Bandicoot to Sackboy. A big adventure and everything in between. You can check out the best platformer games on PS5 right here, in our Best PS5 Platformer Games Ranked feature. Best PS5 split-screen co-op games ranked. There's nothing better than settling down and getting stuck into some great split-screen and co-op games with a friend in your home or in theirs. So to help with that, you can check out the best PS5 split-screen and co-op games ranked in our feature, which includes the likes of Borderlands 3, It Takes Two and many more. Best PS5 fighting games ranked. If the likes of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are your jam, then take a peek at our feature, which details the very best PS5 fighting games that you can get for the console, ranked in order. Best Ps5 Fps Games ranked, from Borderlands 3 to Metro Exodus. Our best Ps5 Fps Games ranked feature will let you know what the very best shooters are that you can currently get on PlayStation 5. Best PS5 horror games ranked. If you like the sensation of the hairs on your neck standing on end, or that cold, sinking feeling in your stomach as you peer around the corner in the darkness, then the PS5 has you covered with some truly great horror games such as Dead by Daylight, The Sinking City and more. Our best PS5 horror games ranked article is here to help you along with those frights and scares. Best PS5 racing games ranked, for the speed demons among you. The PS5 has a cracking lineup of superb racing games. Whether you're carving through the mud in Dirt 5 or tearing up the tarmac in Gran Turismo 7, our best PS5 racing games ranked feature has you covered. Best PS5 indie games ranked. Just like the PS4 before it, the PS5 has a fantastic range of indie games, including the likes of Maquette, the adorable Bugsnax and the Pokémon-esque Temtem. There's no shortage of great indie games for PS5, so why not check out our best PS5 indie games ranked article to find your next favorite game? Best PS5 kids games ranked. The PS5 is for everybody, young and old. But if you're specifically on the lookout for PS5 games that are suitable for kids, our best PS5 kids games article has all your favorites such as Crash Bandicoot and Fortnite, in addition to a range of new games for you to consider like Astro's Playroom and Overcooked. All you can eat too. Best PS5 puzzle games ranked. For those looking for some games to tease the old grey matter, the PS5 doesn't disappoint. Including the likes of Maquette, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 and Bridge Constructor. The Walking Dead. Here are the very best PS5 puzzle games ranked. Best PS5 free games ranked. Some of the best PS5 games that you can get actually cost nothing at all to play. Whether it's Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Warzone or the superb sci-fi ninja action RPG Warframe, there's something for everyone in our best PS5 free games ranked guide. Ps5 Game Prices. How much do PS5 games cost? Ps5 game prices are higher than PS4 game prices on average. While we've yet to see widespread pricing, 2K begun the trend by selling the PS5 version of NBA 2K21 for $69.99 at launch, with many other games following suit. Sony's first-party PS5 games meanwhile retail between $49.99 and $69.99. PS5 launch games. What were the PlayStation 5 launch titles? Any console launch worth its salt must have a great lineup of games at launch, and the PS5 didn't disappoint. These are the PS5 launch games that launched alongside the console: Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, Ubisoft, Astro's Playroom, Team Asobi, Japan Studio. Pre-installed on PS5: Borderlands 3, Gearbox Software, Bugsnax, Wild Horses, Concept Destruction, Ratalaika Games, Dead by Daylight, Behavior Interactive, Demon's Souls, Bluepoint Games, Japan Studio, Devil May Cry 5, Special Edition, Capcom, Dirt 5, Codemasters, Fortnite, Epic Games, Godfall, Gearbox Publishing, Gunya Fighter, Jiggly Haptic Edition, Mutant, Just Dance 2021, Ubisoft, JYDGE, 10 tons. Limited, King Oddball, 10 tons. Limited, Maneater, Blindside Interactive, Mortal Kombat 11, Ultimate, NetherRealm Studios, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Insomniac Games, Marvel's Spider-Man, Remastered, Insomniac Games, included with Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, NBA 2K21, 2K, No Man's Sky, Hello Games, Observer, System Redux, Bloober Team, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Ghost Town Games, Planet Coaster, Console Edition, Frontier Developments, Poker Club, Ripstone Games, Sackboy, A Big Adventure, Sumo Digital, Spacelords, Mercury Steam, Spirit of the North, Enhanced Edition, Infuse Studio, Tesla Force 10 tons. Limited. The Pathless, Annapurna Interactive, Undead Horde 10 tons. Limited. War Thunder, Gaijin Entertainment, Warframe, Digital Extremes, Warhammer Chaosbane, Slayer Edition, Echo Software, Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft, WRC9, Naken. For further reading, you can catch our in-depth PS5 launch lineup feature here. In terms of games beyond launch, we now know about a bucketload of games that will be coming to PlayStation 5. In addition to first-party stunners like Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Horizon Forbidden West, that's Horizon Zero Dawn 2 to you and me, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart. We also know that a range of superb-looking third-party efforts are on the way too, such as Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8, Basically, and Deathloop, from Arcane Studios, the developers behind the highly acclaimed Dishonored and Prey series of games. Check out our articles which detail every game ever announced for PS5, and also our PS5 launch title feature which lists every game that was available to buy at the launch of PlayStation 5. Also, don't be surprised to see external game subscription services, such as EA Play, arrive on PS5 too, as publishers such as EA will strive to make the most of PS5's backwards compatibility functionality. PS5 free games. What are the best free games on PlayStation 5? Some of the best games you can get on PlayStation 5 are those that you don't have to pay a single penny for. The best PS5 free games you can get in 2020 include: you can get the full lowdown on all the best free PS5 games in our handy guide. PS5 2020 games. What other PS5 games released in 2020? Aside from the launch games which released in November, there are also a number of other PS5 games which released in December 2020, which you can find below. Rainbow Six Siege, Ubisoft. December 1st Worms Rumble, Team 17. December 1st Haven, The Game Bakers. December 3rd Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Ubisoft. December 3rd FIFA 21, EA. December 4th Madden NFL 21, EA. December 4th Spirit of the North Enhanced Edition, Infuse Studio, Retail. December 4th Destiny 2, Bungie. December 8th Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Sega. December 8th Temtem Early Access, Crema. December 8th Override 2, Super Mech League, Modus Studios Brazil. December 22nd PS5 2021 games. What games are releasing for PS5 in 2021? 2021 will bring a host of new PS5 games to the console, including key first-party PlayStation Studios titles like Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Horizon Forbidden West, and Returnal. We will also get a number of third-party games, such as Deathloop, Outriders, Gotham Knights, and Hogwarts Legacy. You can see a full and comprehensive list of all the PS5 2021 games here. PS5 Complete Guide, PSVR Ps5 PSVR. Can you use PlayStation VR on PlayStation 5? Your PlayStation VR headset will work just fine on PS5. Even better still, like some PS4 games, a selection of PSVR games will be tweaked to run at higher resolution and boast more detail than the PS4 and PS4 Pro was capable of. Games that run on PSVR through PS5 can expect to benefit from 90 FPS output instead of the 60 FPS output you get on PS4 and PS4 Pro. This results in a much smoother experience. Faster loading via the Ps5 SSD. Improved levels of detail in the environment and on character models. Additional graphical effects. 4K resolution that is downsampled to 1080p for improved image quality. Your PlayStation camera will work with PS5, but a special adapter is needed to ensure compatibility. You can order the PSVR adapter for PS5 at no extra cost right here. Ps5 PSVR 2. Will there be a next-gen PlayStation VR for PlayStation 5? After selling more than 4 million units, PSVR is in a really good spot right now, and so a much more capable PSVR 2 seems like a sure thing. The thing is, Sony's R&D and production capacity only stretches so far, meaning that we'll likely see a PSVR successor a good while after launch. So expect Sony to make a big deal out of PS5's compatibility with the existing PSVR headset. That said, we are starting to see Sony patent and invest in R&D on PSVR 2 related projects, such as this haptic VR glove for example that simulates the sensation of impact, pulling and pushing. Sony's Jim Ryan recently said in an interview that the company has nothing to say about a potential PSVR 2, so even if something is in the works, the console maker is not ready to talk about it yet. However, that hasn't stopped the rumor mill from churning out some tasty specs and a price point for PSVR 2. Another rumor has also said that the PSVR 2 will include a back and front camera on the headset itself, in addition to a camera on a reworked PlayStation Move controller to allow for room-scale VR. Ps5 Complete Guide. Backwards Compatibility. Ps5 Backwards Compatibility. Can you play PS4 games on PS5? It has been confirmed that the PS5 will play PS4 games. PS5 will also support crossplay between PS4 and Ps5 players too, in addition to allowing PS5 players to use PS4 saves as well. For more on this, you can catch all of the Ps5 Crossplay Games in our handy feature, All Ps5 Crossplay Games, a complete list. From day one, lucky PS5 owners will be able to play just about all of the Ps5's library of 4,000+ games. In addition to this, Sony is currently working to make the top 100 PS4 games work with Ps5's Boost Mode too, allowing those games to benefit from enhanced performance in the form of higher resolutions and better frame rates. Ps5 backwards compatibility with PS4 games falls into the following four categories. PS5 compatible. A great number of PS4 games will be playable on PS5 and run the exact same as they would on a PS4 Pro or base PS4 hardware. The only difference is that loading times will be much faster and in some cases practically non-existent thanks to the Ps5 SSD. It is expected that most of the PS4 games available will initially fall into this category and would include titles such as NHL 21 and LA Noire. Not PS5 compatible. Occasionally, a very small selection of PS4 titles simply will not work with PS5. But as Sony is testing up to 4,000 PS4 titles, we would expect this number to dwindle further post-launch. PS5 update. In addition to a boost from the PS5 SSD, some PS4 games will receive an update on PS5 at a later date, after the PS4 release, which provide a variety of visual enhancements such as higher resolution, increased detail and superior frame rates. An example of a game that would fall into this category would include Cyberpunk 2077. As developers begin to shift to PS5, you will see less and less of these sorts of games after the release of the console. PS5 upgrade. A selection of PS4 games will immediately upgrade to the better quality PS5 version of the game and will include the improvements listed above. Such games would include Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War and Control, Ultimate Edition. A great number of large third-party publishers such as Ubisoft are doing this right now, but it varies as to whether or not some offer the upgrade free of charge, or request a premium SKU to be bought. See the aforementioned examples. The results of Sony's backwards compatibility efforts can be transformative. Days Gone, for example, when running under PS5 backwards compatibility, enjoys 4K dynamic resolution and a 60 frames per second frame rate that not only makes it look and run much better than on PS4 and PS4 Pro, but play better too. PS5 backwards compatibility. What PS4 games play best on PS5? The PlayStation 5 is capable of not only playing just about every PS4 game you can get, but it can also run many of them far better than either the PS4 or PS4 Pro is capable of too. You can check out which PS4 games run best on PS5 right here in our handy guide. PS5 backwards compatibility. Can you play PS1, PS2 and PS3 games on PS5? Sony has only confirmed that the PS5 will not natively play PS1, PS2 and PS3 games. That said, we wouldn't be surprised however if Sony merely relied on PS Now to play PS3, PS2 and PS1 titles in much the same way that it does now. For much more information on this, Please check out our PS1, PS2 and PS3 compatibility article where we go into much more detail about how those older games might still end up on PS5. PS5 Complete Guide. Apps and Media Services. Ps5 Apps. What streaming apps can you get for PlayStation 5? You can fully expect to see the likes of Netflix, Disney+, Amazon Instant Video, HBO Max and many other services available at the launch of PS5. Take a peek at our Ps5 Apps feature for the full breakdown on all the Ps5 apps that you'll be able to get at launch and beyond. At launch, these are the Ps5 streaming apps that are available. Amazon Prime Video, confirmed by Ars Technica, Apple TV Crunchyroll, confirmed by Polygon, Disney Plus Funimation, confirmed by Funimation, Hulu, confirmed by Ars Technica, MyCanal, confirmed by Ars Technica, Netflix Peacock, confirmed by Ars Technica, Plex, confirmed by Plex, Spotify Twitch YouTube Ps5 Apps. How to access Microsoft Teams on PS5. It's a little different to access Microsoft Teams on PS5 because the console's web browser technically isn't advertised by Sony, and requires a bit of work to get it working. Head to User and Accounts and Settings of your console, select Link with other devices. You'll then access the web browser, but you'll need to first select the small Twitter logo in the top left corner to get to the Twitter UI. Log in and then you'll have full access to web browsing on PS5. Once this is done, simply follow the previous steps above to access Microsoft Teams on PS5. Ps5 Apps. How to access Zoom app on PS4 and PS5. If you're looking to access the popular Zoom video conferencing app on PlayStation 5, this is how you do it. Head to the Google Play Store on your mobile phone. Search Zoom Cloud Meeting app or Zoom app and then proceed to download and install the app. Head back to the Google Play Store and download and install the screen mirroring app. Fire up your PS4 and go to the web browser via Applications in the Settings section. You can now scan the QR code and enter it on the screen mirroring app. Open the screen mirroring app to scan the QR code and enter it on your app. Your phone screen will be able to display your PS4 screen. Open the Zoom app on your Android device. Log in using your details to sign in. You can now create a video call and host a meeting like you usually would on the PS4. Ps5 Apps. How to access Google Classroom on PS5. Since the PS5 web browser is actually hidden in the system and not advertised as a feature by Sony, it requires a few extra steps to access Google Classroom on PlayStation 5. First off, head to the PS5 settings and select Users and Accounts. Pick Link with Other Services. Select Twitter to take you to the hidden web browser. Click the Twitter logo in the top left corner, and you'll be taken to the Twitter UI for web browsers. Log in and you will then gain access to the PS5 web browser. Follow the remaining steps detailed above for PS4 users to access Google Classroom. PS5 Complete Guide. PlayStation Now, PS Now, Ps5 PS Now. How will PlayStation Now work on PlayStation 5? On May 16, 2019, Sony and Microsoft announced a strategic partnership that extends to their streaming services and also the sharing of game development tech, an obvious shot across the bow of Google's Stadia platform. How this unfolds further down the line, though, is anyone's guess right now. All the same, these are exciting times indeed, especially considering just how many games are on the PS Now service. What we do know is that going forward, PS Now will be an increasingly stronger focus, and it makes sense that PS5 would be included in that too. PlayStation Now, however, functions pretty much the same as it did on PS4, allowing users to stream PS2, PS3 and PS4 games to the console. As before, the functionality to download PS4 games onto the PS5 console remains available too. How to download PS4 games from PlayStation Now on PS5. Downloading PS4 games to your PS5 from PlayStation Now is actually pretty simple. Take a look at our full guide for downloading PS4 games to PS5 via PS Now to find out more. PS5 Complete Guide. PlayStation Plus, PS Plus, Ps5 PS Plus. How does PlayStation Plus function on PlayStation 5? The PlayStation Plus subscription service works on PS5 in a similar fashion to PS4, where cloud storage is permitted, in addition to online multiplayer and the ability to claim free PS4 and PS5 games each month. You can see all the PS Plus games released to date right here. You can also expect your PS Plus membership to carry over to PS5, too. One thing we do know, however, is that the PlayStation Plus collection is a special addition to the PlayStation Plus service for PS5 owners and looks to add even more value to the service. PS5 PlayStation Plus collection. What is the PS Plus collection and what games does it include? At no extra cost, PS5 owners that subscribe to PlayStation Plus will be able to enjoy the following PS4 titles as free digital downloads: Batman, Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Bloodborne, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Zombies Chronicles Edition, Crash Bandicoot 4, Insane Trilogy, Days Gone, Detroit, Become Human, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, God of War, Infamous, Second Son, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Until Dawn. More titles are expected to be added to the service as time goes on. To keep up to date on all the PS4 games in the PlayStation Plus collection, be sure to bookmark our PS Plus collection guide here. What are all the Ps5 PS Plus games released so far? This is a list of all the PlayStation 5 PS Plus games released to date. For a much more comprehensive deep dive into these titles, you can check out our PS5 PS Plus complete guide right here. PlayStation 5 Complete Guide, Ps5 FAQ, Ps5 Release Date. When did PlayStation 5 come out? The Ps5 release date was November 12, 2020, in North America, and November 19, 2020, in Europe and the UK. The PS5 and Ps5 Digital Edition released at the same time. PlayStation 5 prices. How much does a PS5 console cost? PlayStation 5 North American price $499.99, PlayStation 5 European price €499.99, PlayStation 5 UK price £449.99, PlayStation 5 Japanese price -49,980 yen, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition prices. How much does a PS5 Digital Edition cost? PlayStation 5 Digital Edition North American price $399.99, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition European price €399.99, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition UK price £359.99, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition Japanese price -39,980 yen. What is the difference between the PS5 Standard and PS5 Digital Edition? The biggest difference between the PS5 and Ps5 Digital Edition is price. The standard PS5 retails at $499 per £449, while the Ps5 Digital Edition retails for $399 per £359. The other big difference that we know is that the PS5 digital console will not have a disk drive. As such, this will affect you in the following ways. You will not be able to purchase and use physical copies of PlayStation 5 games if you have a PS4 physical game that can be upgraded to a PS5 version. This can only be used on the physical console, so you'll lose out on the upgrade, unless you own a PS4 digital copy. Any disc-based PlayStation 4 games that you have will not work on the PS5 digital console. The lack of a disk drive in the PS5 digital will mean that the console could run quieter. Though confirmation is required here, read onto our PS5 and Ps5 Digital Edition guide for more on the similarities and differences between the two consoles. PS5 Rest Mode. How does Rest Mode work on PlayStation 5? According to comments from SIE's own Jim Ryan, the PS5 Rest Mode will be able to save much more power than the PS4 version of the functionality. Other than that, Sony has not revealed any more details about how Rest Mode will work on PS5, and so PS4 owners can probably expect similar functionality. However, future system updates could improve the PS5 Rest Mode functionality going forward, so stay tuned on that front. Can PS5 output at 1440p resolution? Sony's next-generation console is packing some pretty big muscles under the hood, including a meaty CPU and GPU, backwards compatibility with PS4 games, ultra-fast loading times thanks to the SSD, and more.
But how's it measure up when it comes to resolution? Is it a true next-gen behemoth that will take full advantage of 1440p displays? Sony has reportedly confirmed to IGN Italy that the PS5 will not support native 1440p. However, a future PS5 firmware system update could implement this capability. PS5 trophies. How do they work? Trophies on PlayStation 5 work pretty much as they do on PlayStation 4. You unlock them for completing certain milestones during gameplay. However, the addition of the new activities feature now means that you can progress against specific trophies and know just how much you need to do unlock the trophy you have your eye on. PS5 trophies icons. Old versus new. Though trophies on PS5 are unlocked in the same way as on PS4, activities notwithstanding, you might be surprised to discover that Sony has also completely redesigned the trophy icons too. You can catch a comparison between PS5 and PS4 trophy icons right here. PS5 Complete Guide. PlayStation 5 firmware system updates. You can catch the latest PS5 firmware updates and all the previous PS5 system updates in the past right here in our constantly updated guide. PS5 Complete Guide Troubleshooting Wiki. PS5 firmware system updates. The PS5 will periodically receive system software updates as with any console, PlayStation or otherwise, and this is obviously something you'll want to keep an eye on. Anytime Sony launches an update, you'll want to download it to ensure your system is running at 100% efficiency. Fortunately, updating the PS5 system software is an easy process. Read our guide for more info. Download the PS5 update from the internet. When you fire up your PS5 following an update, you should automatically receive a notification that the file is being downloaded. If for whatever reasons it freezes during this process, restart the download by doing the following. Head to Settings, System Software Update and Settings, Update System Software. Select Update using Internet. Download the Ps5 update from the Internet in safe mode. If you are attempting to update your Ps5 from safe mode via the Internet, you'll need to follow the following steps. Start the Ps5 console in safe mode. Press and hold the power button and then release after the second beep, which you should hear in 7 seconds. Select Safe Mode Option 3. Update System Software. Select Option. Update Ps5 software using the Internet. The Ps5 will now attempt to download the system software from the Internet. Download the Ps5 update from USB storage using a PC or Mac. Create a folder named Ps5 on a USB drive. This USB drive must be formatted as FAT32. Inside that folder, create another folder named Update. Visit the Ps5 System Software Update page and select the Update System Software section. Download the update file and save it in the Update folder you just created. Make sure to save the file as Ps5 update pup, and be sure to leave the pup file extension intact. Plug the USB drive containing the file into your Ps5 console. Go to Settings, System Software Update and Settings, Update System Software. Select Update from USB storage device greater than OK. Download the Ps5 update from USB storage in safe mode. Follow steps 1 to 3 of the Download the Ps5 update from USB storage guide, above. Start the Ps5 console in safe mode. Press and hold the power button and then release after the second beep, which you should hear in 7 seconds. Select Safe Mode Option 3. Update System Software. Select Update from USB storage device greater than OK. If this doesn't work, a common cause for failure is a mismatch of file names and folder names. Ensure that the file names and folder name match exactly those detailed in Step 1 and Step 2. Make sure that the USB external storage you are using for the backup is big enough to back up all of the Ps5 data you need. A USB stick will be good for saves files and media, but little else. Ensure that the external USB storage is connected to the USB ports on the rear of the console. Go into Settings greater than System Software greater than Backup and Restore greater than Backup your Ps5. Ensure that all users have synced their data with the PlayStation network. You can do this by going into Settings, Saved Data and Game, App Settings, Game Status, Sync with PlayStation Network. Choose which of the data types you wish to backup from, Games and Apps, Saved Data, Screenshots and Video, Settings. Click Next. Ps5 backup will begin. How to return your Ps5 to original settings safely via factory reset. Turn off your Ps5 console by pressing the power button. This is the largest of the two buttons on the front of the console. The power indicator will blink for a second or two before turning off completely. With the system completely off, press and hold the power button again. Release it after you hear the Ps5 make a second beep. The first beep will sound when you first press the power button.
The second will occur and roughly 7 seconds later. Connect the controller with the USB cable and press the PS button on the controller. Your PS5 has now started in safe mode. Select Reset PS5 deletes all user data and restores the PS5 to its original factory state. This is what you want to do if you want to factory reset your PS5 to either give it a clean slate or sell it onto another user. PS5 console will reset. How to restore your PS5. Ensure that the external USB storage is connected to the USB ports on the rear of the console. Go into Settings greater than System Software greater than Backup and Restore greater than Restore Your Ps5. Choose the data you wish to restore to your PS5 from the attached USB storage. Click Next. PS5 data restore will begin. Don't forget that if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can back up your PS4 and PS5 saves to the cloud too. You can catch our full, more detailed guide on backing up and restoring your PS5 console here. PS5 Complete Guide Troubleshooting Wiki. Safe Mode. How to start PS5 in safe mode. Turn off your PS5 console by pressing the power button. This is the largest of the two buttons on the front of the console. The power indicator will blink for a second or two before turning off completely. With the system completely off, press and hold the power button again. Release it after you hear the PS5 make a second beep. The first beep will sound when you first press the power button. The second will occur and roughly 7 seconds later. Connect the controller with the USB cable and press the PS button on the controller. Your PS5 has now started in safe mode. PS5 safe mode doesn't work. What can I do? In some rare cases, your PS5 will not be able to boot into safe mode. In order to sort this, there are a number of things that you can try in order to get your PlayStation 5 booting up in safe mode. Check out our extended guide on PS5 safe mode troubleshooting for further reading. What are the PS5 safe mode options? These are all of the PS5 safe mode options that are available to you once you boot your PlayStation 5 into safe mode. Restart PS5 exits safe mode and restarts the PS5 console in its normal condition. Change video output. Changes the native display resolution. This option can be helpful when troubleshooting issues with blank screens and other display problems. Update system software. Allows you to update the PS5 system software via direct download or if you have a PS5 system update stored on a connected USB storage device. Restore default settings. Restores the PS5 console to the default factory settings. Restoring default settings will not delete the saved data on your system storage. Rebuild database. Scans the drive and creates a new database structure of all content on the system. This option is worth selecting if you find yourself running into the infamous PS5 download queue bug. Reset PS5 deletes all user data and restores the PS5 to its original factory state. This is what you want to do if you want to factory reset your PS5 to either give it a clean slate or sell it onto another user. Reset PS5. Reinstall system software. Deletes all user data and removes PS5 system software. This will reset the PS5 system software to its original launch factory firmware state. How to update the PS5 system software in safe mode. If your PS5 console has lost connection to the internet midway through downloading a system update, or has been offline for a long time, you can manually update the PS5 system software through safe mode. To do this, you can download a PS5 system update directly to your console or via a USB storage device. Check out our guides below to see the next steps. Cannot start PS5 safe mode. Learn how to get safe mode on PlayStation 5 working. If you cannot start your PS5 into safe mode, we've got a few steps for you to try so that you can get safe mode working on your PlayStation 5 again. Try starting PS5 in safe mode again sometimes. All it can take is attempting to restart the PlayStation 5 in safe mode to cure the problem. As seen previously, the steps to do this are as follows. Turn off your PS5 console by pressing the power button. This is the largest of the two buttons on the front of the console. The power indicator will blink for a second or two before turning off completely. With the system completely off, press and hold the power button again. Release it after you hear the PS5 make a second beep. The first beep will sound when you first press the power button. The second will occur and roughly 7 seconds later. Connect the controller with the USB cable and press the PS button on the controller. Your PS5 has now started in safe mode. Ensure that all HDMI, power and USB cables are connected properly. Sometimes the PS5 can refuse to boot up correctly if the cables aren't connected properly and functioning correctly. Here are some cables and attachments to check by unplugging and plugging them back in. HDMI cable connecting the PS5 to the TV. Power cable connecting the PS5 to the mains. USB cables connected to external storage devices. USB Bluetooth dongles. Power cycle your PS5 console if attempting to restart the PS5 in safe mode doesn't resolve the issue, and all of the cables are working and connected properly. You can try power cycling to remedy the problem. Completely turn off the PlayStation by holding the power button. When the power light stops flashing, remove the power cable and leave the system turned off for no less than 20 minutes. Turn on the PS5 and attempt to launch safe mode. PS5 Complete Guide. How to fix every PS5 error code with the PS5 now being on the market. A number of PS5 error codes are appearing which are stopping gamers from enjoying their shiny new PlayStation 5 console. Luckily, we've tracked down every PS5 error and solution and put them into a single, constantly updated place for your convenience. Be sure to bookmark this guide as we'll be updating it over the coming days, weeks, months and years of the PS5's lifecycle. Exciting times are ahead.